Hey, y'all. I'm a Barbie girl, and it's a Barbie world, but not for everyone because people are hating. Roll the title card. Hey, everyone. It's your favorite CEO, Miss Flo, and you are watching another episode of Virtual Road Rage, where I basically vent to y'all about things that piss me off while doing poorly in Mario Kart. Fun, ain't it? And it's cheaper than therapy. All right, today's guests have Sy'Quan and Aneara.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello.
Howdy ho.
So the reason that we're all here, I hope that you are digging the pink representation, just to, show support for the Barbie movie because everybody wants to be a hater. Um, which I don't understand. There we go. There are the lights. I don't get it. Like, why are you hating on a doll movie? Like, they keep making it political, and I'm like, what was your purpose? And it's not just like in conservative circles, like I'm hearing other women having complaints and calling it like propaganda, and I'm just like, y'all for real? Is this real life?
Honestly,
Like,
the only women I've seen mad at the Barbie movie are a whole bunch of fucking pick Mishas. And it sounds about right. Sounds about right.
oop. All right, but before we dive into the topic, let's go ahead and get started with the race. As you know, first things first. If you are interested in playing me, there's my friend code right there. Screenshot it, pause it, get a good look at that, and add me to your friends list so that eventually one day we'll play together. If you want an easy win, I'm your girl. That's about the only thing easy about me. All right. So, let me go back. Let me go ahead and play a game. I was practicing a little bit. I was trying to see if I should go back to the Joy Cons. Nope, didn't make a difference. All right. We're gonna, of course, first. Oop, wait a minute. Hold on. First things first, I gotta always play myself because I am my biggest competition. And then we may do a race, the Grand Prix against the computer, just to kind of warm up, continue to practice. I don't get a chance to practice too much offline because I'm busy doing a lot of things, revamping the website, things of that nature. All right. What route shall we do today? Trying to think what I haven't done. I'm staying away from that Rainbow Road because I'm like, let's do Subway. Mm. Accelerate. Let's go. So we're gonna talk about the Barbie movie. So if you haven't seen it, we will be sharing some spoilers. To give some
Boo.
context. You didn't see it yet?
I still ain't see it. I know everything about the movie, but I ain't see it.
It was so good. When I tell you that I have like hard laughs, like genuine. Oh my God, hard laughs. I cried like not even halfway through the movie. Like this movie had me crying because it's just like. I mean, that's what happens when you have women writing, when you have a woman directing, when you have female leads. Like it was
Hmm.
just there was like a lot of instant connection with the character and what they were feeling. Like if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it, regardless of your gender or how you identify yourself. I feel
Period.
like
hmm
it's just something. It was an emotional roller coaster. It was just good storytelling. Um, the premise of the movie is okay. We have Barbie and the Barbie in the Barbie land, and then the main Barbie, the stereotypical Barbie, basically like the original Barbie. starts to malfunction, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like she starts to have dark thoughts and has flat feet. And I was like already connecting with the character. Um, and goes on a journey to the real world to try to fix the problem. I could tell from the trailer, is this for little kids? Absolutely not. It is for the audience members that have grew up watching Barbie. It's PG-13, just FYI. It's a well diverse cast. Like we have Issa Rae as our president of Barbie Land. Perfect.
Period.
You have cannot remember the actor's name, but he was in Shang-Chi. Who knew he could dance too? Multi-talented. He's a Ken. Um, we have Michael Cera, who grew up. Well, I wouldn't say I grew up watching him, but remember from like Superbad and what's that movie he did? It's like that also has a cult classic following, where he had to fight all the exes.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
There we go. I couldn't pull
You
that out
don't
of my
know that
ass.
movie?
I know the movie. I just couldn't pull the name out to save my life. But he's iconic in his own right. So it's a star-studded class. Of course, Will Ferrell um is in it. It is, oh my God. It was well cast. Everybody was funny. Like I couldn't predict what was going to happen. When you think it was going to go one way, it turned left, but in a good way. You know what I mean?
In my defense, I only haven't seen the movie because I'm broke. That's the only reason. If I had money, I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah, and it should
Period.
be like a whole, it should be a nice day. Like a lot of theaters, when I tell you the marketing on this project, Mattel was not playing whatsoever. They were like, we're gonna make this an event for you. You know what I mean? Like there were so many people that came out. I went up with my friend Pam and we went to
Alamo
Angelica Pop.
Drafthouse?
No, no, no. We went to Angelica Pop because I wanted to
Oh.
go opening weekend. When I tell you it was sold out everywhere, I wanted to go to the Alamo Theater because they had a whole Barbie set up, like the box and everything, and had a promotional contest. But it was like it was sold out.
I
And I
went to
want.
AMC in Rivertown.
How was it?
It was actually pretty nice. I liked it.
And in most theaters they had like full photo ops.
Oh, they didn't
Um,
have that, but a lot of people like dressed up, was taking pictures by the little. You know how they have the Barbie movie cutout poster that
yeah.
they be having. They took pictures right there. A lot of people showed up and showed out. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah, it was just like it wasn't just a movie night. It was a whole event.
It was a vibe,
Hmm.
and I love the market. Like when I tell you Barbie movie, they really did out for like on my Roku TV. They had it like on the 21st. They had it decked out for like, oh, go see the Barbie movie. They really showed their ass on the marketing, and I loved it. That's what movies used to be about. Like you go out, you have billboards and other shit. Like you really do it. You do what you do about a movie, and that's why I love like a woman really did this and she showed out. I love it.
Yeah, she did. It did break. I think Gerwin, is that the director's name? Like she
Greta,
broke.
yeah, Gerwig.
Yeah, she broke the record for like largest opening weekend. So that's super exciting and great news. And I hope that this would open more doors for female directors and writers, but who knows with this writer strike. But yeah, it's a lot going on, but it was just good to see, you know, the show like you can invest in you know, it was a combination of like a children's story but also tied into what's currently going on. And then you had people that really didn't appreciate that. We know that truth is a bitter pill to swallow, but to call it like propaganda and saying that it's indoctrinating young girls to hate their fathers and think that they're dumb. I'm like, y'all are really reaching. Like,
What I'm
stretch
gonna say about that
Armstrong
is,
reaching.
girl, what I'm gonna say about that is, you can't
Oh, did we?
are not a part of that problem. Like you can't involve yourself in a situation or a problem if you don't feel personally attacked by that problem. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like like all the men who are like, oh my god, this is horrible. They they're treating men as if they're villains because you see yourself as the villain. You are here. You see it. You're justifying it. Either which way is represented in the movie. It's dramatized, whatever the case may be. But you see the problem, and instead of you actually doing something about it, you identify yourself with this character. You know, Ken or whoever the people is, you identify yourself with the character and you're like, oh my god, I'm just X, Y, and Z. And that's because you are. Like I don't feel that way, and I know the premises of the movie, and I'm a boy. I'm also a Barbie. Period.
Now, do you see yourself as a Barbie, Ken, or an Alan?
I'm a Barbie every day, all day. Period.
Period.
Now, which type of Barbie? Because we got to see a lot of variations of Barbie. We got Diplomat Barbie, Doctor Barbie, uh, Sir Barbie, President Barbie. Am I missing a Barbie?
I'm manic bipolar Barbie.
I am also manic bipolar Barbie as well. Very much that. Which one is Issa Rae? Is she President Barbie?
She's
She's
President
President Barbie, yeah.
Barbie.
Okay, I'm President Barbie. As long gotta stick with the niggas. I mean, yeah, Black Power.
I'm sorry. All right. So let me go on and continue like just describing the movie and what some people may be pissed at. The movie did tackle the issues of patriarchy. Um, just to give you a sense of the like what's the difference between Barbie Land and the real world. So in Barbie Land, women run everything. They're the president, they're the Supreme Court, the diplomats. They are the winners. They have their each Barbie has their own dream house. Um, and the kids are basically there as like support. Like their whole function and reason for being is just to basically support Barbie, you know.
As they should. God damn
But
it.
they're the cheerleaders. Nobody really knows what a Ken does. It's like Ken just be Kenning, and that's that.
Here, here,
But
here, here.
once Barbie and unfortunately Ken, because he wants to be a whole tag along, goes into the real world to find essentially her doll owner who is just having these negative feelings, thoughts of death, thoughts of getting older, and issues with cellulite and causing Barbie to malfunction. As she journeys to the real world, she can. The whole assumption with Barbie and Barbie Land is like, oh, we're making the world a better place because we show diverse representation to empower young girls. You know, that's like essentially the premise of Barbie. And when they get into the real world, they're just like, oh, we did not instill any change. It is horrible here. You have men that are ogling Barbie, being so objectifying. She started to feel self-conscious, and she's just like freaking out. It's just like, what, what is this? You know what I mean? Like she never had to feel this way. Like she was just immediately, just like a few seconds in the real world, and she immediately felt horrible. You know what I mean? Ken, on the other hand, he sees what it's like to be a man in the real world and realize things are so much better for him for the most part. Um, and he actually goes to a library, picks up all the books about patriarchy and studies it, and then brings that information back to Barbie Land. And I'm just like,
Just like Amanda, fuck some shit up.
swear. But eventually Barbie finds her owner, but I'll call it like a playmate. You know what I mean? Like her playmate, and realizes she's a grown adult with a child that just, well, a teenager that just doesn't connect with her anymore. And before I go too deep, what I would say about like the child, the teenager, had some really solid points, and the movie did a great job of exploring. Okay, this was like the controversial side or the downside of Barbie. When they first came out, when they had like a very unrealistic beauty standard, uh, for young women, which eventually they did fix, but it was just like that's how it was when like it first came out and growing up. Um, Barbie just generally has like a weird history, and for conservatives to kind of try to weaponize that and say like, oh, feminists at first y'all wasn't really, messing with Barbie, but now you want to like claim it because over the years, Barbie has worked very hard to be inclusive, not just in terms of like what women can do, whether they're scientists, astronauts, uh, pilots, doctors, or any type of profession you can think of. That's a bit work to be like very diverse. Like we had like a black Barbie. I remember having a black Barbie when I was growing up. Especially the Spice Girls edition. I had Scary Spice. Um, and just having, and then later in years they had Curvy Barbie. They had
Disabled
yeah,
Barbie.
they had like this disabled Barbie. They also like even had gender inclusive Barbie, whereas like you
Period.
couldn't tell what the Barbie was. Like it would be ever whatever gender that the kid decided to be, because they had like different wigs. I think it was like color temp where you could like change the hair and all of that. So Barbie over the years has worked to really still connect with young people and make sure like everybody was seen in the doll. So this whole notion that, oh, all of a sudden Barbie wants to be woke, I'm like, no, Barbie has worked to be a true ally and have really supported those that usually are not seen.
I would also like to add, for all those people who are like, oh, well, y'all didn't like Barbie before. It's like a social change. You know what I mean? Like it progresses. Like things in society. Society is meant to progress. Like for example, slavery was a normal thing back in the day. Racism, very blatant racism, was a normal thing back in the day. Things progress to and being more inclusive. Just because we didn't like something back then, aka Barbie, because it wasn't inclusive. It wasn't something that everybody, every young, person growing up can see and include themselves into. Now that Barbie has done that, it's something that, we can all like agree, or like most of us can agree that this is something, positive. Unlike things in society that were always bad, and that we just had a, realization that that was bad.
Right. And I think like what people had to come to the understanding that this movie can not be mistaken for propaganda, because that's a dangerous word to just throw around and to attach to anything. You know what I mean? And for those that don't know, like propaganda is basically a political tool to spread misinformation and biases. Um, to basically, manipulate the masses. The most current type of propaganda that we see today is misinformation about drag queens and, trans people. Uh, no, they're not trying to groom your kids. They're just trying to make a living with their art form, and it's been under attack under most conservative states, whether it's Tennessee, uh, what was the other one? No, it was Tennessee. I want to say Florida. I know there's been anti-trans bills in Florida. I'm trying to see, like, I think,
Also, with that being said, a lot of people gotta understand that propaganda was always a tool meant to aid the government, whichever fuck up thing the government was doing. Like for example, there was war propaganda when when we were fighting against Russia.
mm,
There are certain things that we put out in the media to for the government specifically to better themselves, to make themselves look better by making everything else the enemy. That's propaganda. By creating an enemy when there is no enemy, by indoctrinating the enemy into young people, young children, so they can grow up and spew out this propaganda as misinformation, because that's what it is, misinformation. It creates a cycle of misleading and misunderstanding that always will, seep through the masses. And that's what propaganda is. There is no misinformation with the Barbie movie. There is a dramatization. That's what it is, a
it's
dramatization of.
satire. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like, people don't. It's
exactly.
the whole point of it is to. Some people say like, oh, it's too obvious and in your face. That's satire. It's meant to do that. You know what I mean? Because at this point, just the way that sexism operates in so many circles, it's like the only thing you can do is really laugh about it. Otherwise, you just have a mental breakdown. You know what I mean?
Also, what you said earlier when you were describing the movie, because again, I haven't seen it. You were describing it earlier how Barbie left Barbie Land to go to the real world, and how she was immediately like gawked at and massaged and all that other shit. Again, I'm not a woman, so I can take this with a grain of salt. That's what it is like growing up when you grow up in the world now. Like you grow up a child your whole life, and then boom, you set off in the real world when you go to college, high school, whatever the case may be, and you are immediately sexualized. You was a kid for your whole life, and then boom, all of a sudden some man tells you were sexy, and it don't even always have to be a man. It could be again the propaganda, the misinformation, the misogyny that has its place. That somebody else, maybe a child, whatever the case may be, said to you, and now you are sitting here with this misogyny on you because you were unaware of it because you were in Barbie Land, and that's something that somebody chose to create for you. That's weird.
It's super weird. You know what I mean? And when I tell you that Barbie hit everything, like America's monologue, like midway through the movie, because when she got back, oh, let me tell you the scene that pissed me off. When Barbie came back, she avoided Mattel's and the CEOs because they wanted to ship her back in a box, and nobody puts Barbie in a box, right? So she managed to get away, meets up with America's character, and they were like, okay, let's just go back to Barbie Land. We're gonna take a journey, and just to see, you know, just to take them there, see what was going on. And when they get there, Ken had already made his way back and introduced patriarchy within a few hours, and
Oh
had
my god.
brainwashed all the other Barbies into being subservient and be like, oh, this is booted out my race. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, just like within a few hours had already introduced patriarchy and brainwashed all the Barbies to just be their, what's the way they phrased it? They was like their non-committed girlfriend, part-time girlfriend. It was something very long, and I'm just like, why are y'all like this? Like, you had the president, Issa Rae, serving beer, and then had the nerve to take over the dream houses and threw her garments in the street.
Yeah, that whole scene pissed me off. I ain't even
It's
gonna lie to
like,
you.
if she don't pick up that golf club and do damage, because ain't no way you gonna come into my house and then kick me out. Ooh, Lord. No, but unfortunately, Barbie felt defeated in that moment, and they eventually retreated to um the weird Barbie. Who's that girl from SNL that's like be super funny?
Kate, it's Kate McKinnon, I think.
Yeah, there you go. And they try to they come up with a way. First of all, I'm going too fast, but let me speak on Alan. Alan is the male ally that we all want. He was like, because America and her daughter, they wanted to like get out of Barbie land because Barbie had given up, and Alan sneaks in the back because like he doesn't want to be a part of this. This is super dumb, and I just want to like get out of here. And apparently, Alan has hands, like he could fight. Who knew? But I digress. So eventually, they make their way back to Barbie Land and make a retreat in Weird Barbie's house to try to come up with a plan to snap everybody and get everybody back to normal. Um, with the few Barbies that are not affected by the brainwashing, I think it was Tarking Barbie and Video Camera Barbie.
Yeah.
Is it? I was just like, I don't know how I feel if I just had like a TV in my back, but you know, uh, and then America does this amazing monologue, and I really feel like that should win an award. She should get like Best Supporting Actress because that monologue about what women have to go through and have to the pressure of being compliant and then kind of almost shrinking ourselves to comfort other people and also still having to work to be an ally. That whole speech should win her an Oscar. Seriously. Because like it hits so hard and it actually snaps one of the brainwashed Barbies. I think it was the author Barbie out of her trance. And it's like that's the key to winning back uh Barbie Land. And for people to really sit there and say like, "Oh, that's propaganda," or like no, like when something is the truth, when you have people crying to this scene, it's not propaganda, that's the truth. Propaganda don't hit you in the heart like that. Only
Mhm.
something real can. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So the fact that conservatives it was a lot of there was a few women, but there was a lot of male conservative like Ben Shapiro, like bro. It's like, what was your purpose? Because you gave Mattel so much money. He paid to see the movie. He paid to buy Barbies to set on fire for out of protest. And then just to
What really
say,
pissed me off about Ben Shapiro was that he was like, "Oh, there was a trans Barbie," and everyone acted like it was normal. The Barbie voice was deeper than mine. Then everybody's voice is deeper than yours. Shut up. Like, ain't nobody worried about you. You over
and
here mad about a damn movie. Like, come on now.
it's like, what? I don't. First of all, I didn't know that the character was trans until somebody said something. I'm so serious. Like, I didn't.
Ooh,
Exactly,
it's giving
because it's not a topic.
fish.
Because
Yes, like,
it's not something that is needed to be discussed. It's a Barbie at the end
Yeah.
of the day. Like it was never a big thing to the Barbies because the Barbies didn't care because at the end of the day it was a Barbie. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
it wasn't trans Barbie. It was Barbie. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And
It was
She
that's
was
just,
a
what really caused
doctor.
me.
Yeah,
yeah,
she was a
Right,
doctor.
bitch, trans Dr. Barbie. Come on now. It's giving fish. It's giving tilapia. Come on now.
Come on, fresh out the water
uh,
on a platter.
you know
You
what I
can't clock
mean?
her.
You really couldn't. Like, I think that she had some of like the funniest parts in the scene because it was like when they were trying to take back Barbie Land. It's just like old school teen romantic comedy where, oh, let's give the pretty girl glasses to make her seem ugly trope, and they were to like make fun of that, but it's like, oh, just make him think like he's seeing your inner beauty by removing your. Oh my God, my steering is terrible. To see your inner beauty by have him take off your glasses, and I was just like, this is just a really, it's just well thought out, smart humor that anybody growing up in the 90s or early 2000s would definitely get. And for conservatives to kind of make it all political and get all, you know, tight about it, I'm just like, well, then why didn't you just watch Oppenheimer and just, you know what I mean? Just look
I
at,
got in an argument with one of my male friends because he was like really shitting on the Barbie movie, and he went to go see Oppenheimer and was just like, "It's so much better." I'm like, First of all, it's not. I don't think it should be a competition between these. These are two completely different movies, given of completely different subjects and topics. So it's just like I just find it funny how they're being pit against each other because they're so different.
right, it's very weird because it's like that movie isn't about the creation of the atomic bomb and how you killed
Mm-hmm.
millions of people
Yes,
in
yes.
war.
That's why
Man
I'm like,
sees
why is
boom and
everybody
he
acting
thinks
like
it's
this is like
good.
a movie we should all want to go see? Like, this is not a lighthearted. This is like heavy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's I mean, just take a history class. Like you want to know like
I'm
the people,
saying,
you want to know the people behind it and try to humanize and rationalize such a poor decision. Like,
Yes.
girl, go watch a 20-minute YouTube video explaining it, and there's the movie. There's the movie.
it's just like people.
Now, don't get me wrong. Uh, no, it was in the. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so if if Oppenheimer, I'm not saying Oppenheimer was a bad movie. I'm not saying that for a long run. But like my friend said, it is a very different movie. These are two like they're not even the same sport. It's a movie about social commentary, and it's an actual historical movie dramatized. Two different playing fields. Like, come on now.
Yeah, I agree. It's just like Barbie is like a feel good movie, but also what made you think. You know what I mean? In terms of like, oh, like I think what made stereotypical Barbie more relatable is just like, oh, she's pretty, but she's also still trying to figure out who she is, or that she was still battling a major insecurity because she didn't feel um as well accomplished as the other Barbies because we're kind of conditioned to always be competing against each other instead of, having an actual sisterhood instead of like the false one that we kind of put on as a charade in a sense. Oh my God. You know, but for those that are just,
Also, with that being said,
uh,
Ben Shapiro has a horrible way of reinforcing the patriarchy by saying boys shouldn't see the Barbie movie. Let's see something blow up. You're literally telling, young, well, not young, but like just men in general, to like don't watch a movie where it explains misogyny and patriarchy. Let's watch a movie where men kill a whole bunch of people because they fought against the country, America.
yeah, then it was like it's very weird. It's just like I also saw a post like, oh, if guys see this, they're beta male. Hey, if you and your, I think the only scene that would really get them uptight, not uptight, but they would find relatable is that there's been guys that have been friend zoned, and Ken's song, like towards the end, was it's a bop. It's a bop. I feel like a lot of guys would feel that because you know always been like by her side, like why doesn't she see me for who I am? But also like that they didn't get together at the end. You know what I mean?
I think there's a reason why they didn't get together. I actually like that they didn't get together. He did all that stuff. Like, what are we teaching young girls? He did all that stuff
incited
Like,
war, tried
yeah.
to like reverse gender roles in a negative way. Still didn't make
Mhm.
anything better. Like, did any of them take any form of leadership, or were they just being guys watching Godfather and talking about the
None
Snyder
of
Cut?
exactly. Exactly.
They didn't really do anything except like, let's just be dudes and have women serve them in a way and wear fur because that's how Ken interprets masculinity.
And while we on the subject, I want everyone who's listening to know that y'all may think the patriarchy or misogyny or that shit, yeah, whatever the case may be, y'all may think that shit is fake or not real or whatever the case may be. It is. It's an everyday thing. There are types of what is the word I'm looking for, like types of oppression that is very visible to certain marginalized groups of people. Marginalized groups of people is everyone who isn't a straight presenting white male. Anybody who does not fit in that category is a marginalized group of people because it's specifically in America because in order to not be like a part of the minority, you have to have some type of power index. And it has been shown many a time, specifically in America, that the people who have this innate ability to have respect to them. Now, it's not, it's not for all, it's not for everybody, but it's just an innate thing. Like, for example, you are more likely to get a job if you have a Caucasian name. And then you take that same scenario and put it in the aspects of a woman. A woman is less likely to get a job than a man just because she's a woman. Even if you ain't go to the interview, you are less likely to get that job. So boom, if you are a black woman, you ain't never gonna get that damn job. There are certain aspects and ratios where if you are not the minority, where you're not the people in power, then you have no say. And that is what misogyny is. That is what it is. And because no one sees that, and we're starting on trends and topics of like, oh, you're not a real woman, or whatever, whatever the case may be, it's just another way for the patriarchy to separate and divide the community. The community isn't X, Y, and Z. The community is all of us who isn't them. You see what I mean?
Mm. No, I totally get what you mean. I think what really irks me is like when you have women who have obviously has experienced some form of discrimination, harassment, objectification, and still be like, nope, this is pandering, this is propaganda. I'm just like, girl, denial is a river in Egypt. I don't know what y'all.
With, with that being said, as well, they also play into the stereotype as well because if you have because a lot of people don't see this, and this is just so very blatant. When you have a pick Misha, a person who would rather devote themselves as a woman to further the patriarchy, you you still suffer. Like no matter what you do, no matter how much you make the man or whatever the case may be, or whoever it is, make them seem like the big person, you will always be at the bottom. You will be you're always, no matter how close you are to the top, you are still below them. And you can't see that. It's the same reason why a lot of white women when they're faced with consequences, while they cry immediately because they know a white woman's tears has effect because they know they're the top of the podium, but bottom below everybody else. Like bottom below the man. You know what I'm saying? Like you still
Right.
shitting everybody in their eyes, but because you the first piece of shit that got landed off. Like you know what I'm saying? Like no matter what the case may be, you are still below them. No matter how much you kiss their ass or whatever the case may be, you are still below.
I mean, but people don't understand that. People just be like, you know, like they look at, I don't understand how women can look at that film and then don't feel some type of way or feel seen. Like it's just beyond weird. For those that are watching and watching this live, feel free to share your feelings of the Barbie movie, whether it's like your personal opinion about the film or the backlash that it's been getting. Just like, okay, so let's take Candace Owens for a second. You know, here is a woman who has her own platform that has built her fame, as controversial as she is in pro-black community, but she still has her own platform. I'm like, you ragging on this film for what? You don't really gain much from that. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's just confusion. Like you don't see the importance of the film or the messages trying to deliver. You feel the need because it's like you want to advocate for men being seen as what, muscular or masculine, but like make it make sense.
Girl.
Like make it make sense. Like what, instead of
Mm,
saying like, oh, things, really needs to change in terms of, defining femininity, or like for the need for men on one
mm-hmm.
hand just need to be okay with like expressing their feelings, and and not
Mm-hmm.
being, terrorizing when the girl of their dreams doesn't, return their feelings. You
Also, and I
say,
want to say this really quick. I want to say this to the men who listen to podcasts too. When y'all instill patriarchy, you hurting yourselves as well. The number one cause of death for men above the age, I think, of like 25 to 50 is suicide. You know,
right,
because you create a world, well not you, but if you don't speak out, then you're part. If you ain't part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
right.
You are you're in this world where the patriarchy exists, and instead of finding that the way to speak out against it, or even if you aren't able to speak out against it, you are able to go to therapy. You find a way to like live with that emotion and like able to move through it yourself. You are creating the problem with yourself. Like so like I think we're all, and I think a lot of people when they hear it like, oh, you're just bashing men. That is not the case. We're trying to help you, friend. Like come on now. When
Yeah,
misogyny
it's not
happens,
it's
you
not so
you
much about
because
bashing men. It's
hmm
like, let's point out the flaws, because we saw the basically what it looks like on both extreme ends. Oh my God.
hmm
This I don't understand the new maps on here. Like what like where am I going, and where, okay, just to pause like on the conversation. So Mario Kart, it no longer has the map in the
huh
right corner. So I have no way of knowing like where I'm supposed to go or where I'm supposed to turn. They just completely got rid of it. At first, I thought like my overlay was covering it or
mm.
something, but then when I took my Switch, because we had a video game day, for the last day at SYEP, was like, oh, wait a minute, the map is gone.
So wait, you telling me that Mario Kart don't have the little map at the corner, so you don't know when to make a left turn or whatever?
I don't know when to turn, where the shortcuts are, none of that. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm not playing. I'm already ass at Mario Party. So I mean Mario Kart. So y'all just want to see me fail. I'm good.
I'm just like, why would y'all do this? And I'm like I'm gonna see. I don't know. Maybe I can bring it back. Maybe there's a feature. If y'all know like how to
Mhm.
bring the map back, like maybe there's a button I need to press. Please let me know, because like with
Let me
these new
know too.
maps, I don't know exactly where to turn. Like, granted, I'm farther back from my screen and I'm on like my computer monitor. I did,
Mhm.
make it a bit bigger so that I could try to see it better, but I'm like, it ain't helping.
But back to the
It,
subject at hand.
yeah.
A lot of times, and this is just my opinion. A lot of times when we have these social commentaries and all this other stuff, I see a lot of people point fingers instead of pointing to the solution. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's so easy to point out, oh, this person did this or this person did this. You're wrong for this, whatever the case may be. It's so easy to do that. Let's help each other out, friend. Like, come on now. It's easy to say, oh, men are bad. Men, do. That's easy to say. Let's show them how to
No.
perpetuate the system. You know what I'm saying? Like once you show, and this is just my opinion. This is how I feel. People aren't inherently just bad people. That's how I feel. If you show
Right. I
somebody,
think, yeah, there
if
could, it's
you
okay. So like towards the end
Mhm.
of the film, they realize, okay, having, women solely at the top or having men solely at the top, even though the men really didn't do much, it
Mhm.
is just not. What is this map? Um, it's just, it's not working. It's causing more of a
Mhm.
division. Like at one point, Barbie couldn't even think like where the Kens lived or what they did. You know what I mean? And that's not good either. So it's like we see
Exactly.
we see both extremes of the spectrum. So now let's
Mhm.
work together to make sure like everybody's equally represented and nobody's under anybody's thumb. Like, because it's not about that. It's not, everything doesn't have to be um a power struggle. You know what I mean? Like we could
Mhm.
actually get things done and make sure everybody's included and and seen. And so,
Mhm.
the Kens realize, they are enough, which is an actual hoodie that you can buy. But I thought it was cute. You know what I mean? To
It
realize
sounds
it's
real cute. I'm gonna watch it eventually. I'm just broke. I'm gonna watch it.
like I'm telling you, and just make a day of it. You know what I mean? If your local theater is having I don't know, some Barbie theme, whatever, or like a local bar, like go ahead because like Barbie is fun and then it makes you actually think and realize like, okay, we've been kind of doing everything wrong. Like we've been working to acquire power for ourselves instead of like, well, why don't we just have everybody on the come up? You know? Not let's work to make sure everybody good, that everybody can eat and everybody, you know, is living sustainably as opposed to, being the object of somebody's affection being their only sole purpose. Get away from the tree. Get away from the tree. Okay, there we go. Do a race with my Joy-Cons because I felt like I did a little test run earlier and I felt like I was doing a bit better. Like me trying to steer, I still haven't gotten used to it. I see if I can work with the controls because like I need to show like I could at least not finish last. Let me finish a race and place somewhat higher. So let me hold on. Can I change my controls?
Also, with that being said, just because you pro woman, that don't mean you against man. Like I think that's a lot of the misconception is that you have to be one or the other when you don't have to be one or the other. You can love a certain demographic or whatever
All
case
right,
may
I have to
be,
back
and
up.
still support the other one.
Yeah, because people again, it's people going to the extremes, and it's like you don't have to do that. You know, it's like you advocating for a group of people doesn't mean that you're automatically bashing. A lot of people thought like the movie was bashing men, and I'm just like, no, this is a reflective mirror. This is what y'all do. This is how y'all operate. And so instead of like constantly criticizing the movie, y'all should be like, okay, let's see what we could do to just create equal footing. But it's not that. The conversation isn't going in that direction. Everybody is like, oh, it's just so anti-man and playing men like they're stupid. And also, to add to that statement, I don't think it was like making y'all look dumb. I think it was just exploiting obvious weaknesses that men have. More, you know what I mean? Because that's been the thing since black exploitation movies. Like you look at Pam Grier, anytime she was getting out of a situation with a guy, she made him believe that she was going to give him some, and then, ooh, then she escapes. Like it's manipulation, and is a little bit different than just playing off somebody that's stupid. But I digress.
And like you said earlier, it's satire. It's not saying like I think people really need to separate themselves from fact and fiction. It's a dramatization of real life current social events. It's not saying 100% this always happens or nothing's 100% period. No matter how much you look at the facts or whatever the case may be, nothing is 100% because like I said earlier, society is made to evolve. It is made to change. Come on now.
But people don't get that. People, if like if you make you feel some type of way, like you feel hurt by that statement, then go to therapy and
Please.
kind of unbox that feeling. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I feel like every guy that saw the movie that was there at Angelica Pop was cool
Hmm.
and everybody was kikiing, laughing, all of that. Like I didn't see like one sour puss in the crowd. But then again, I'm in DC and we're full of
Exactly, because
liberals.
like I said
So
earlier, if the shoe fucking fits, if you don't see yourself as part of the problem, then you're not the problem. But if you can internalize and see yourself as this, and be like, oh, am I Ken and am I the problem? Then yes, you are 100%. But there are men who don't see themselves as that because they actively work on, solving the patriarchy.
but people don't understand that. It's just like you can hear the clubhouse conversation. Like, see, Barbie showed us you can't trust them hoes. Like,
What?
bro, like because like you know how Barbie basically played all the Kens just to you know trap them and like manipulating them into fighting each other and causing a whole war so they wouldn't vote. But you know how club if you haven't been on Clubhouse, good for you because you don't need to go on there. You really don't. It is
Child, it's
full.
toxic in Clubhouse.
It's like
It's toxic. Now, I will say this because I'm not trying to bash nobody. Clubhouse, there are a lot of there are some good, stuff in Clubhouse. Like I do, like if I want to get a good old reading, if someone want to do my zodiac real quick, I love it. It's good for that. But when you start talking about social issues, that's when people really start showing their asses.
bro, not even just like social issues. Like I think I told you this, Saquon. I honestly don't remember what was the main topic, but the dude was like, have to really bring down the girl's self-esteem because she feeling all uppity and da 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 to really humble her or whatever. It kills me to do that. I don't want to do that. But these women just be like yada yada yada, and I'm just like, and then you have like a dude that is co-signing that sounds ugly and unappealing. I could tell
And
by
I'm
the
gonna say
sound
this
of
for
his
every
voice.
man listening. I'm gonna say this for every man listening. If you think like that, you have trauma. You have trauma and you need to heal. That is okay to have trauma. Most of us do. We just don't know it. You need to heal. Stop spitting out your trauma to somebody else because you ain't healed. That's propaganda. That's what that is. Because you're misleading every damn body. You making somebody else with your same similar fucking issues that also need to heal, and you are encouraging them to tell them, nah, man, you right. People do women are woo, 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 woo. No, heal. Go to therapy. Go to therapy. Now.
They don't really care. They're just gonna just have Clubhouse. I'm just saying that it's good to have access to a platform, but not everybody needs a platform. Or at least have some like
Very
sense to
true.
or just some sense to realize like th this isn't real life. Like this is just straight up nonsense. What? How
Hmm.
did I not make that leap? That- Crazy. One lap at a time, y'all. One lap at a time. But yeah, but if
Sorry if it's noisy. I'm cooking. My bad.
what you cooking?
I got some baked chicken, broccoli, and mashed potatoes.
Mm. Regular potatoes or garlic?
I got garlic. So I got it's really cute. So you go to Walmart, they got the little Hidden Valley Ranch packets. and where like it has a seasoning of ranch. You mix it in with some mashed
Why won't it
potatoes. You season it
turn?
with some garlic and a little bit of Parmesan. You got you got ranch flavored Parmesan garlic mashed potatoes. It's so good. I'm here for it.
Yum.
I'm gonna start doing like a little cooking show because I'll be in my kitchen cooking. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more race and then I'm gonna just like call it because I am struggling. But yeah, but just to come up, just sum up some key points is like one, Barbie, anything, not just Barbie, but anything that speaks to you, like something like you actually experienced and witnessed, is not propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are not plotting to overtake the government. Those are the people of January 6th. We're not doing that.
Period.
Okay, what we're advocating for is just equal opportunity for women in leadership. We come a long way. I think we have like three women in the Supreme Court, two who are actual allies. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm getting the number wrong. We have more women in Congress, but we're still numbered. Um, so all I'm asking is just like just hear people out. You know what I mean? In order to incite change, first you got to listen to what the problems are. You know what I mean? You
Period.
can't really do anything if we're constantly in denial.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? We're drowning in that. What we need to start doing is just recognize that things are unfair. The government is ran by a whole bunch of old white people.
Who might be
Like,
robots? I'm just saying.
mm, with Mitch
Um,
McConnell glitching, you might be right.
girl, did you see it? I was like, oh my god, somebody,
Like,
somebody turn him on.
but he should have went. They should have had. I don't know why they continued the press conference. To be honest, I'm like, yo, can y'all let a doctor see him? Like,
Mm-mm.
why is he? No, 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 no. Y'all need to. But they're not.
He
There's.
needs some milk.
I feel like he's a puppet at this point. I don't even think he in full control.
Girl, I don't know what it is, but it's scaring the
Flo, you
shit
are
out of
so
me.
bad at this game.
Yeah.
Is she? I'm not even watching it. I'm sorry,
It's like
but
it's been struggling. I'm trying different controllers. I've tried different. I'm actually doing pretty good now. I'm currently. I'm not gonna
You're
jinx
doing,
it.
yeah, you're doing all right now.
he's slow. Come on now, don't make us look bad.
I've been doing that for the past
She
couple
Luke.
episodes.
Mm, mm, mm.
What?
I was wondering why you so quiet, shooting, watching you fuck up the game.
Oh, my bad. I like
No, you
gameplay.
good, you good. I was like,
Some
what's he
way, if they
doing?
maybe I do better with the Joy Cons. Maybe I have to put the steering wheel away because
This how you gonna be on the road.
yeah.
Not that thing gonna be on the road.
Oh
That's why
no.
It's okay, Flo. I still don't know how to drive. I'm like
I'm
SpongeBob.
like there's no need. I would lift, and when you live in DC, it's like you really don't need a car most of
When
the
I say that to
times
people in Indiana, they be like, "What do you mean?"
because
And
we
they
have
acting like,
public
"What do you
transportation.
mean? What do you mean? I don't even know how to drive. Come on now."
Mm. And like I said, these new maps are just disrespectful.
Mhm.
Mm.
Very much that if they don't even tell you how the map is shaped. Usually that be like, remember Yoshi Island and it was shaped like Yoshi? Like that whole map was shaped like Yoshi. Like it was so nice.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits. Quit. I'm gonna try to like practice more online, but it's just like keep in mind, like I'm playing against like little kids that stay on this game. But I feel like
Oh,
the last
you're.
one,
I thought you were doing like the what is it called? Oh, I didn't know you were doing online play.
yeah, online play is like it's a different beast. But I would like to like not keep finishing last. But that's for another time. All right. That's pretty much it for virtual road rage. If you like what you see here, make sure that you share the Twitch channel so that we can have more people come on board and share their thoughts, whether it's about Barbie, politics, or what have you. Uh, FYI, I have revamped my website just to make sure that it's more user friendly. I also have
Period.
merch out. I'll be promoting virtual road rage merch. I'm still
Love
trying to
it.
figure out how to do the hoodie. I really want. I have the. It's up here, but to actually design it, I may have to pay somebody to do it because that is. I have the vision. I just don't have the skill set. I digress. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you, Aneara and Sy'Quan, for
You're
being on the
welcome.
show.
No, thank
Um,
you for.
Y'all just do your best to fight patriarchy, fight
Period.
for roles
And
that,
go to therapy.
yeah. Men, you have to be a better ally and uh just help women or those that are non-binary to get in those spaces so that we could actually make change. Make sure that you guys vote. Elections coming up. Is it election season?
I don't
Um,
know.
yes,
At least for me,
Yes.
I
yes,
don't know.
it
Might
is.
be different in DC.
So make sure that y'all vote for the right people so that we could incite the change because your vote matters, your voice matters, you matter. All right. Thank you
Period.
again so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the road next time. Hopefully, I'll get better. Hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.